Howdy folks. I hurt my back yesterday, so I'm not walking around very much, so I figured we'd do some whiteboard videos for y'all to see, and hopefully I can teach y'all something that might be important for you. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how we set up all our farms. Just kind of an outline here. So we've set up 4 farms so far. So this is our 10-acre one. So if you got 10 acres and you want to run sheep, I'm just going to draw the shape. So we get some weird shaped pieces of ground. The house is over here. We don't rent the house or anything, and we got a barn right here. This is actually where we milk our milk cows. So we have power here. So we put an energizer in here that runs power. We fixed up all the fence, and this was all barbed wire fence. It wasn't in very good shape. We fixed up all the fence and ran one hot wire about 16 inches off the ground all the way around. And there's kind of a little pond here, but it's never had any water because we've been in a drought. No water system or anything. So what we did was we got the maple syrup tubing, 500 feet of maple syrup tubing from a spigot by the house, ran it across the driveway. The driveway comes through here like this. So we put a piece of fire hose on it right here so that it wouldn't damage our line. And we ran it out, and we usually we'd split our fields about here. And then we'd probably go something like this and something like this. This hose could reach any of these spots, and we could just reach over here into this corner here. So we were able to water the sheep everywhere in this farm. They never have been here very long, but this was super easy, and by far the hardest part was cutting all the trees off the barbed wire fence and getting it tied up so it wasn't tangled up in anything, and just making that work. But when we need to load out, I didn't quite draw this right. The shed's here. There's a fence here. We build our corral using this fence, and we load our trailer out right here with our pallet and cattle panel corral. All right, so we'll call that farm number 1. Just kind of in order of how we got them. Farm number 2, so that was 10 acres. Farm number 2 is 29 acres, and it was shaped. It was a bit more of a normal shape. Same deal, messed up barbed wire fences. House is right here. There was a barn, water spigots right here, and there's a bunch of trees, and this is the owner's picnic area, so the sheep weren't supposed to go into here. And there's a little pen right here, and that's where we loaded out with our trailers. There's actually another shed here which was almost in the way, but we were able to pull in and back up and have a little chute that would come out and load into our trailers. When we unloaded, we just dumped in the pasture. There's no fence here, and here, and they didn't want any gates, so that was something we had to work around. So we started out, we put the energizer in the barn, ran an insulated wire over here, put a couple ground rods in, ran one wire all the way around to there, about 16 inches off the ground with offsets and the 1/2-inch fiberglass posts where we needed, and then some screw-in ones because there was some wood posts along here too. And then we split it with 1/2-inch fiberglass fence posts. And that's not quite right. We angled it a little bit, just like this, not connected to anything. Then we were able to build our paddocks, which was really efficient. And we switched to that, and we switched to that, and went around. they didn't want us hooked up full time necessarily in case there was a leak or something, which is fine. I suggested that we might not want to do that. So we put our water wagon right here. Maybe I switched to a different color. We put our water wagon right here. This is on a hill. And we ran, so we had a hose that we went from here to here, and we'd fill it up every day or whatever while we were there. And then we ran our black 1-inch line out here, and we'd drag it back this way if we needed it, and we just put the water tank, wherever we needed the water tank. This worked pretty good, except the lack of gates. So at some point we would actually run electric fence like this, do 2 wires, but he always wanted to drive his mule around and stuff, and so we had to make sure that we kept it out of his way and stuff. And we ended up having a pinch point over here. We came around the corner, and the fence that got grounded out, a deer must have run through it, and it got caught right here, the barbed wire, and Dad forgot to check the fence, and he made a paddock here that was a lot smaller than what they've been used to. And the sheep felt pinched, and they went through the fence when it wasn't hot, and they actually ran out this gate and were running around in the yard, and there's a pretty main road that goes right here. So that was a little bit of an issue there with no gates. I'd really prefer to have everything closed in, but it is what it is. We're only going to graze this farm about once a year for about a month anyway. That works best for them, and it works great for us too. So that's how we set that farm up. Then we'll go to our big farm. So everything we do, we try and do it really quickly and efficiently, but also really good. We spend most of our time trimming and fixing the fence, and then we set up our electric. That's the fast part. This next farm was a real doozy of a shape. It's on a quarter section. It goes like this, comes around way, and this side from here to here is a half a mile. Has a cutout, goes to the road, and this curves up and goes along here and gets super skinny and goes like that. So we fixed this part first, fixed up all the fences, ran our 1 wire. This was all barbed wire, and 1 wire like this. There's a gate right here. Hung our Energizer on a tree, parked our water wagon right here. This is a 6-acre paddock. The whole thing's about 64 acres if you figure it all out of 160. That'd be a quarter. I think it's right. The sheep were in here while we were fixing up everything else. Now the barbed wire ends right here and right here. And the barbed wire was by far the worst part. There's another gate here. It goes into there's an alfalfa field and a cornfield, and there's a wheat field over here. But anyway, we didn't get to rent that. This was just all overgrown and brushy, and so these 2 sides don't need to be hooked all the time. And there's actually no fence. There's actually no fence along here either. All the way here. We ran 1 hot wire down the side just so we could carry power, and it runs up here and ends. And then we fixed up all the barbed wire all along here too. And then we ran 1 strand on the 1/2-inch fiberglass post all the way back to here to where it got really skinny. We just ended it, and we hook a wire across here when we need the sheep to be in that paddock. Otherwise there's nothing there. So this whole part can be dead, and we can just walk away from it until we need to bring the sheep back. There's a little pond here, and there's a big pond up here, but they're both almost completely dry because it's been so dry here. So once we got that all finished, we ended up putting our Energizer right here because the gate in is right here, and our access path comes back and goes up this like that. We then ran 2 strands of hot wire all the way around using the king corners, as I like to call them, the screw-in corner posts. And that was actually the fastest part, was putting these in. Way faster than fixing the barbed wire, but it would have taken me longer to tear the barbed wire out, and I'm just renting, so it is what it is. There's one gate here, but other than that, there's no gates. We didn't put in any gates. And then we ran, this is gonna mess me up. Forget the path. Then we came off of here. I didn't quite draw it in proportion. We came off of here and we ran a 2-strand split fence up here like that. So now we can make our paddocks. I mean, this is a huge piece, so. And the sheep are actually right here right now. Now, I was going to pump water out of the pond to a tank, because this is uphill, and put a tank up there. So we were going to run 1.5-inch fire hose to a tank, and then fire hose and black plastic pipe all the way down here, because it would water the whole thing. But the pond's so low, I didn't want to have to put my pump down there and risk it getting flooded. But it cooled off, so sheep have barely been drinking any water, so we just haul them water every few days and fill their little tank up, and away we go. So now, if you saw our solar panel Energizer video, we put the solar panel right here, and so now it's powering everything, and that works great. So there we go. That's how we set up our farms, to be trying to find a balance of being efficient, so we're doing enough but not wasting our time. We're doing enough to be efficient, but we're not wasting our time doing extra stuff. And we're also trying to be really careful that we do it right, so we don't end up with shorts and problems every single day, like deer getting caught in the barbed wire fence and tangling up our wire, which we've had that happen several times. But our speed right fence testers will tell us which way the short is, and because I've been around so many times, I can usually find it pretty quick what the problem is. And then we disconnect this whole side, because walking from here to here is a real pain, trying to find something that shorted out down here. And when we get down here, cut off the rest of this and just power this, so we just have to worry about that. But there we go. Those are our farms so far. We'll show you more when we get more. So thanks for watching.